Hey Wanderers, and welcome back to Outlaws Wanted. Last time, the crew started their assault on the production facility of the Watchers. Meanwhile, Sully and Jyla entered the cognitive realm and befriended the very concept of loyalty in the form of a jacked penguin. The walk to this lava collection chamber in the manufacturing facility of the Watchers is treacherous, as it's all these catwalks above constantly, rapidly manufacturing machines, right? The stuff underneath of you is chaos to look down into, or not even exactly chaos, more just, it's very hectic. Tons of motion underneath of you as machines slam into each other, and parts are rapidly created for the Watchers. Your party is creeping along these railways, or these catwalks, and unbeknownst to you, I know I'm kind of, spoilers here, but, you can pretend like you don't know as a party. There is a lingering watcher that is kind of just watching your group as you go. The closer you get to the main site, like I said, the temperature is rising, but you can also now see that a huge amount of resources are being carried out of this, main hub that the plant is kind of built around. But the biggest challenge that you see in front of you is that there's, pipes leading into this big, glowing room, right? There are conveyors that are pulling materials out, barrels being pulled out. You can see electricity flowing in and out of it, but you don't see any clear way for you as people to get into this area. So, what does everybody do?
Hang on, I think I didn't quite understand that. What's the issue we're running into?
There isn't a door into the room that handles the lava. There's piping, power, and materials moving in and out, as lava is being refined into iron and steel and other metals that can be used in manufacturing, and the heat is used to generate electricity. All that's there. But there isn't a door that you can open to walk in. So you have to figure out how to get into this place.
I think my first idea would be to do what we did to get into this building in the first place, which is kind of feel around for some kind of paneling and see if we can rip something open.
Okay, roll me an investigation check.
How high up are we off the ground?
I would say you probably have 3 stories to fall before you would hit machines.
Okay. So maybe we don't jump down.
You would have to climb down, and it would be dangerous.
Sounds like a coward's way out, not jumping.
That's an 11.
Okay. So you're able to find an access panel that maybe has a lot of the power flowing through it. So there's these big cables that go in and hit some coupling points on the side of this metal wall. And you can see an access panel around there that doesn't have any obvious screw heads, but you have your handy dandy drill, and you're able to find magnetically driven screws that you're able to back out and pop the panel out. And this will let you crawl in to this area.
Cool. I think that's what we do.
Okay, what's everyone's order? How are you walking in?
I think Vi'll go first.
Okay.
I don't know where Mal wants to be in the order, but then we have Lucy and our 3 guys who... I would say if Mal doesn't want to, Lucy probably takes up the rear.
I was actually thinking that Mal would take up the rear and kind of watch their backs.
Okay, then it's probably Vi, Lucy, the other guys, and then Mal.
Okay, so first of all, Vi, make a perception check.
That's an 8.
Okay, so when you walk in, this room, the reason it was built the way that it is, one, it is extremely hot. You're now basically standing in a volcano, as this room, there's stone, or I guess obsidian, whatever kind of thing that can resist the heat of lava and hold it as a liquid. The bottom of that building is that. And then you can see flowing through it pipes that are used to turn steam generators, and then also some of that lava going to refinement. But mostly what it is a circulated pool of lava that is there to provide an incredible amount of heat material in this very packed room. So you've basically walked into an oven. As soon as you're through that access panel, you can feel yourself starting to sweat. Breathing is difficult as the amount of oxygen has dropped. It's almost like a physical weight on you. And now I need you to make me a perception check.
What would that be? Is that the same as investigation?
Sorry, yes, investigation.
That's a 12. I rolled really well.
Okay, so with a 12, for the first time, you hear mechanical clanking. And as you look back down the hatchway, you can see a watcher walking towards the open panel. In its hands, you can see the panel that Vika removed. And so in one hand, it's holding this big metal panel, and in the other, you can see one of its hands is sparking and arcing with electricity like it's holding a welder in its other hand, and it's about to weld you into this room. What do you do? Keeping in mind the area you crawled through is pretty tight, so it's like single file, right? You turn around, and it's like a narrow hallway up to this thing that's about to weld you in.
I'm going to point it out to everyone else. And so I guess it'll be like, we've got a watcher about to seal us in here.
Then do something. Shoot it.
And I think he's going to try to, is it like straight right behind me? Like, how close am I to this?
So if you had not rolled a 12, you wouldn't have noticed. So you actually have like a decent lead up of time here to try to do something about this.
Well, seeing as, are we like crawling into this area or are we walking? I don't know how.
You were crawling, yeah.
Okay.
It's like narrow, right?
Okay, then I will try to, since I'm probably on my hands and knees, he would have gone in like probably head first once he was going through the panel. He's going to kick back and try to knock the panel out of the watcher's hand.
Ooh. Blast some baddies with tough.
That's a 7.
Okay, so you kick the panel and the watcher reels back and then grabs one of your feet and drags you out of the access hatch and throws you back onto the catwalks. You take 1 damage, but you're now thrown out of the access hallway.
Is that 1 damage after my energy shield? My duster?
Oh, I forgot you had the duster. No, that would actually just soak that damage.
Soak is fantastic.
You should really be a tanky. You should be putting yourself in tanky situations. I will say, granted, the Watcher was not necessarily attacking you, so keep that in mind for the future. That was an effect of getting you out of the hallway. At the same time, though, the next person in the marching order was one of Ivana's men who was going to open fire on the Watcher.
Welcome to the Outlaws.
And he misses. He just totally whiffs. He's trying to get himself rolled around, but does nothing. Back to Vika, or it's really just back to Vika or Malcolm, whoever wants to go first.
Now the question, did he miss or did he miss?
You don't know.
Was that for all of Ivana's men?
So, single file. The other ones can't shoot. You're, wedged in there, one after the other.
Okay, so I can't shoot either. I'm up front. I think as soon as I'm able to get through, because I'm able to get out of that access area, correct?
Yeah.
I think it's trying to get Lucy and the other 2 guys out so we can, turn around and help as much as we can.
Okay, so you want to, try to get everyone else to clear the tunnel and then start firing backwards?
Yes.
Okay, but you want all of them in the oven?
Well, I can't tell them to back up, so yes.
You could. That's a decision for you to make.
I could, but we're crawling. And there's no way
that's fine.
Yeah, I think it would be more effective to just keep going as fast as we can forward.
Okay, roll me an act under pressure.
11.
Okay, so you managed to kind of grab Lucy and drag him out, and he kind of gets the picture and starts dragging Ivana's men out, including the one that's blindly firing out of the hallway, trying to help out.
That's why he misses.
Yeah, right, because he's getting drug out by Lucy. Lucy then sets down his giant rifle and kicks out the tripod and aims it down that corridor and starts opening fire. Meanwhile, Malcolm, you were just thrown against the rails of a catwalk. Beneath you, about 30 feet, there is whirling and crunching machinery. What do you do?
I think he's just going to keep trying to fight this thing gonna pull out his traction blade and start swinging.
I was gonna say, were you gonna do that with your hams? Just like...
Yep.
If he was in the cognitive realm, he could. Hashtag try the cognitive realm. It may be a good fit for you.
That is a 7. Rolling tough is not my strong suit.
So the Watcher just beelines right towards you, and I mean it's like a 7-foot-tall metal monster with gross flesh growing between it. So as it sprints towards you, you take one good slash, and it makes solid contact, and you can feel it biting into the flesh and grinding against metal as it reaches mechanical components of the Watcher. But it slams into you, like you're getting tackled at a football game, and you feel a horrible lurching moment as you're thrown over the rails, and you have that moment of free fall. Make me an act under pressure roll.
That is a 10. Oh, luckily.
Ooh.
I rolled a 7, and my cool is +3.
That was lucky. That was going to be bad. That was going to be rough for you. All right, you managed to grab onto like the last rung of the guardrail that goes around the catwalk. So you're just like hanging by, a finger with a Watcher standing above you. And right as its foot is about to come down, you hear a kind of unfamiliar sound of an imposition like mobile cannon spool up and begin firing. And we're about to find out if Lucy is worth his weight in gold. And with a 10, Lucy opens fire on the Watcher.
Yeah, Lucy.
You can see pieces of flesh getting torn away as the Watcher turns around and starts charging back towards the opening, being drawn by the fire, giving you an instant to crawl back up.
So real quick, to be fair, Lucy is worth his weight in gold, even if he misses. He's just too precious.
We love you, Lucy.
It's scary because Lucy's probably the heaviest character because he has power armor.
Yeah, Lucy is. Do you guys care that I'm rolling for characters? Like, does that bother you in like a mechanical, why is the GM rolling? I'm like rolling against myself.
No, that's fine.
Okay, cool. I just figured I'd run it past you.
No, I think Lucy should be getting like a +4 to hit, though.
Lucy got some bonuses, don't worry. My rolls are secret.
Snake Eyes. Lucy got a 10.
my PCs only get 10s. Wait until the penguin starts rolling.
I'm imagining the penguin as like basically He-Man. By the power of grace. Boom.
I'm so excited for the part with the penguin.
That doesn't make me feel better about it.
All right. So the Watcher turns and is running back towards Lucy, who is still firing like full blast with his cannon. Sparks and chunks of flesh are being ripped away, but it is not stopping this Watcher as it crashes into the tunnel and like a manic spider starts tearing its way towards you. Vika, what do you do?
I'm taking a shot.
Shots.
That is a 12. Oh, also, before I forget, I established this before, that Vi has a spacesuit that's very Star-Lord-esque, so it's like you can, hit something behind her ear and she has a helmet. So she does that while in the oven so she can actually, breathe.
Oh, that's better. A good idea, yeah. Let me ask you something. Do you want to try to repel this thing, or, do more damage or avoid taking damage here?
Do more damage.
Okay. You just aim, and with, so the difference here is that Lucy is just full auto firing, and it's a very imposition attack, where it's just kind of like, well, if you throw more bullets, you're more likely to win.
He's not wrong, technically.
But what you do instead is, careful aim, find a weak point and fire carefully, So you're, focusing fire as this thing is crashing towards you. Lucy is standing just in front of you as the Watcher crashes through the small little crawlway that you had managed to find, smashes into Lucy, and you see one of its clawed hands rip up as it severs Lucy's gun in half, and then starts clawing into his power armor, knocking Lucy back onto the ground. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. Lucy was standing in front of you, so he's taking the brunt of the damage right now. Lucy is struggling to, get up and get his sword and shield out because, melee is not uncomfortable for him.
Real quick, so I could be envisioning this totally wrong, but so in my head, the way I'm seeing this is he came out of the crawl space, or we all came out of the crawl space, and there's like catwalk with railing, and then on the other side of the railing is lava? Question mark?
If you get knocked off backwards, so behind you, there is like a pool of lava. It's a very big open room with equipment going down into a pool of lava.
Can I or one of the Ivana's people trip him into the lava?
It is technically Malcolm's turn, but that is not a bad idea.
Okay.
I'm not saying no. I'm saying wait your turn.
No, that's fine. I'm putting that out there as that's where my head is going next.
No, I like that. Mel, you managed to pull yourself back up onto the catwalks. You see Lucy getting savaged by a watcher, his gun cut in half. On the other end of this walk, or crawl space? Crawlway? Tunnel? You know what I mean. Crawling tunnel. What do you do?
So, if I were to try to do the same that he did to me, I'd have to get him back out to the walkway or the crawl space. No, wait.
Okay, so you're standing outside in the factory. Inside the oven is a pool of lava at like the base of it, where all the equipment feeds into to either get heat to turn water into steam to turn generators, or to refine that lava into metals. So you'd have to go through the crawl space if you wanted to push the Watcher into the lava, full Terminator.
Oh, okay, got it.
Or you could try to shoot at it more, is the other option.
Yeah, I think he's probably gonna, once he's back up on the walkway, get to that like crawl space area and just like start shooting down towards it.
All right.
Whew, that's a 7. Man, I'm getting really lucky with my low rolls, just barely meeting what I need.
So this is not an instance of you taking damage, because there's really no way for this very melee-driven Watcher right now to do damage to you. It's more that Lucy is not... You're not able to, like, knock the Watcher off of Lucy. So as the Watcher continues its attack, you can see an unusual sight as, like, chunks of armor are being pulled off of Lucy by this Watcher that's almost getting down to his flesh. But, your shots are hitting, they're just not doing quite enough yet. Alright, back over to Jyla.
Nope.
Not Jyla, Vika. First time I did it this episode.
I'd like to say real quick, Cody, don't you dare hurt our beloved.
You guys brought him on a mission. What do you want to have happen here?
Okay, so the way I kind of see this is, like, so he was going after Lucy. Lucy's on the ground. He's probably, like, hunkering over him. So Vi yells to Lucy to hunker down and just, like, goes to, like, I don't know, kick or push or just get him over the railing.
Okay. So you're just trying to, like, have Lucy help you throw this thing over the railing?
Like, use Lucy as, like, the tripping, like...
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so it's kind of going to stumble over Lucy and then go over the edge.
Yeah, when I say hunker down, I mean pull your head in, like, crouch. He's gonna fall over you.
Blast some baddies with tough.
That is a 10.
Nice. Okay, so you run and smash a shoulder into this thing that is attacking Lucy. At the same time, Lucy manages to get his sword kind of stuck up in the air, which knocks, like, the Watcher kind of off balance. You smash into it. It begins to reel backwards and hits the guardrail on the catwalk that leads over into the pit of lava. It stops for a brief moment, and then Ivana's people finally get wise and decide they need to step in and help. And roll too many dice, because I don't know how to play this game. One of them makes they all three just make a dumb rush towards this thing and crash into it. One of them is carried over with it as the Watcher tumbles over into the lava. You hear a scream, and then you hear nothing. Now you're in a room with the, like, power generator, raw material manufacturing, and a whole lot of lava. What's everyone doing?
When you say power generator, is there, like, I'm just going to keep using the word panel, I guess. Is there like some kind of panel where we could possibly shut it down?
Do you just want to turn it off?
I basically want to unplug it, I think, and destroy it, ideally.
Okay. So roll me an investigation check.
7.
Okay. So there really are not a ton of panels directly in this room. The thing with this place is it is almost entirely meant to not be interacted with. Like, this is not really a place for humans to be. Like, Lucy and you are kind of doing okay. Ivana's remaining men are breathing hard and sweating profusely.
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm, are you coming through the crawlway, or are you staying on the other side?
I think he's staying on the other side, but he's gonna call in. So what's over there? Is that our way in?
Our way into what? The thermal generator here? Yeah, I mean, that's where this is happening.
So, the generator that you found, right? Oh, okay, so control panel question. Solid question. The reason I asked about where Malcolm is because that's going to be relevant here in a minute. So, there is not specifically control panels in here because people are not meant to be in here messing with this stuff, but there is, like, valving that you could mess with, but you have to actually go to the piece of equipment, which would require you to, like, scurry onto a pipe, find a valve, and shut it. Or, like, divert flow to other places by actually, like, physically moving a device that is, like, in these pipes that are either carrying steam or lava or both. So it's far more treacherous because you'd have to, like, crawl out over lava to try to do this. But you could. What you do realize is that, so basically, the way this generator works, right, it boils water to make steam with lava, and then uses that to turn generators. But with any kind of steam generation, you have to have the steam moving, otherwise it builds pressure wherever it is. So what you realize is if you close a valve, just like physically close it and maybe like weld it shut, pressure is going to build rapidly in certain areas of the system and eventually rupture. Which is a good thing, because it means you could very permanently damage this thing pretty easily from where you are. It just will be dangerous.
Okay, so what I want to try and do first, I would like to try to shoot the valve to turn it off. Because that feels very sci-fi and fun.
Okay, I like that idea. Roll me a... Okay, so I'm going to level with you here. This is like an all or nothing yes or no roll. And you have to roll better than a 10. So if you don't roll better than a 10, it just doesn't happen because you're trying to shoot a valve closed, which kind of doesn't totally make sense because there really isn't a way for this to be a mixed success. So I just want you to know the stakes going in. Nothing bad's going to happen, but it's hard to do.
Okay, so if I miss, I just miss.
You just then have to crawl out there and move it by hand.
Okay. No, that's fine. I just want to try it. Why not?
Yeah, no, it's fine. I just want you to know it has to be a 10.
It is not.
Oh, no! All right. So what did you roll?
It ended up being a 7.
Oh, okay. That's fine. What would you like to do next?
So I think at this point, Mal has kind of crawled over to where the rest of everyone else is.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he would try to do it.
Oh, you want to try to crawl out there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So before he does that, he's gonna ask Vi. So we shut off one of those valves that should shut off their power generation, right?
Well, not the generation specifically, but that's gonna do some permanent damage to. It's gonna do some permanent damage to their energy source here. Generator? I don't know. I'm tired.
The steam generator will begin to overpressurize.
There you go.
Look, in my real life, I've dealt with steam generators before, all right?
Bringing work home again, Cody?
What pant leg does she have to shoot?
Right, exactly.
Don't say things like that, Zach. You're going to trigger me. You're going to have flashbacks.
All right, well, I guess no one said this was going to be safe, and he's going to try to head out there.
Go, Mel. Go, Mel.
Roll act under pressure.
All right.
Gosh, I really like Powered by the Apocalypse. This is so easy. compared to Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh.
No shade on Dungeons and Dragons.
I think I might have rolled our highest roll so far, or close to. I rolled a 15.
Dang.
Dead gum!
I rolled double 6 plus my 3.
Nice.
Nice.
I mean, this is the time.
So you just flip over there.
Yeah, you ninja.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you just cartwheel down the pipe, just grab, just like, oh, look at this. The manual thing. Turn it. Cut the airline. Cartwheel back. All claps.
He does like the tumble thing that cheerleaders do or like gymnastics do, like down the thing. Like,
Yep.
Mel, you never told us you did gymnastics. 10 years in the academy.
It's required.
So, as soon as you close that valve, you can the ambient temperature in the room starts to crawl up a little bit, and you can hear kind of a ringing sound, but nothing too crazy happens right off the bat. You hear uneven footsteps and look around to see Lucy getting to his feet. His armor has been torn down to his skin, and you can actually see him bleeding a little bit. His face looks more haggard than you've seen it before, as he basically took the brunt of an attack from a Watcher, which is one of those things, nearly killed all of you, so it's pretty bad. He walks slowly over to the two of you and goes, I believe it is time to go. I am quite damaged, as you can tell by the grievous injuries to my armor, which will make a spectacular trophy, I am sure. But also, I do believe this room is about to explode, because that is developing a lot of pressure.
I was just about to say the same thing. Let's go.
Yes, I don't particularly want to be in here when this thing goes off. Let's get going.
Cody, how big is this valve? Like, in my head, I initially pictured, like, a pipe to, like, a bathroom, and I'm like, it's gotta be bigger than that. It's gotta be a big valve.
So, like, steam generators are big.
I've never seen a steam generator in real life, and I'm like, when you said valve, I'm like, you could shoot a valve with a bullet, and I'm like, it's probably bigger than, like, my refrigerator.
Sorry, let me be clear here. This is, this is what would be inside of, like, a coal-fired power plant or a steam or like a nuclear power plant.
That doesn't make it clearer for me, size-wise.
My point is, like, if you can imagine how big a nuclear power plant is, they're big, right? Because what they are is a gigantic steam turbine.
But this valve thing is like a ship's wheel sort of size. Like...
Or bigger, yeah. It would be enormous.
Okay.
Because, like...
I was picturing like a small plate size.
Anyways, you've now brought on a digression, so, like, the way most power generation works, whether it is, whatever the fuel source is, what it's doing generally is heating water to steam and then pushing that through a pipe to turn like an impeller, or whatever. So if you close that, steam pressure just begins to build in wherever that close happened. So eventually, it's directly proportional to the heat, so the hotter it gets, the higher the pressure will build, and eventually it'll just explode. Really, in real life, there'd be, like, blow-off valves, and this would never happen, but it's fiction, so it'll just explode.
Yeah, I can't imagine that Chaos was heavily involved with OSHA.
No, not so much. She actually worked really hard to get rid of Space OSHA on Avis, which is why worker injuries have gone crazy since Chaos took over. There's a whole thing about it. A lot of workers are really mad about it, but they love not having to wear their PPE. Anyways,
there's a sign. We can see a sign in this place that says number of seconds since injury, and it can't even get to 1.
it's just going 1-0.
Yep, every 10th of a second.
Anyway, this is going to be our next spin-off series, Outlaws Wanna, Sposha Edition.
All right. So, what is your order going out of the crawl space?
I don't like that question.
I don't like it either, but I think Vi would be one of the last ones. She's getting Ivana's men and Lucy through first.
Yeah, I think it would probably be reverse order that we came in.
Okay, so you're heading out first, Malcolm, and then, like, you're kind of helping Lucy push through as his armor is, like, not quite working anymore?
Yep.
All right. Malcolm, you see first and are drawn up short by the fact that once you are outside of this room, you are faced with the immediate realization that there are a lot of Watchers in front of you, as all of them are hive-minded together and know right where you are now. You're very aware of the fact that there are Watchers in front of you, and a bomb behind you that you have basically welded shut. So you are like welded permanent, so it really can't be turned off. And we're gonna kick back over to the cognitive realm with... Are you mouthing Jyla at me right now, Caitlin?
Well, look, I was sitting here waiting for you to eventually get it, and then you weren't. So I'm like, someone's just gonna tell him.
With Jyla and Sully, you're standing just inside of a portcullis that is at the base of a very large tower. The top of the tower, you had seen like just a figure of basically a plain-looking person, right? Not anything that crazy. But every time there was like a flash of something in the cognitive realm, you could see almost like branching lightning, many tendrils leading off to many eyes scattered throughout the galaxy, as this is like the hive that is the Watcher. They are high above you. You are at the base. You have made friends with a penguin. What is your penguin's name?
I was not prepared for this.
You had all week.
I was not prepared for the responsibility to name my fake pet.
Well, to be fair, I had all week after we ended last week with the penguin gliding off into battle. I didn't think the name was going to come up so quickly.
What are you going to cry over him when he dies in your arms?
His name is Unity.
Cool, so now I know what to call Unity when Unity dies in your arms coughing up penguin blood. After sacrificing himself for you because he rolled bad.
I know, but hey.
And this is a 6-foot-tall muscular penguin, correct?
Yeah, it's bigger than us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like taller than you or more.
Jyla has to look up slightly, yeah.
You can see it's like decidedly has muscle definition. It's especially in like, you can see strong pectoral muscles attached to fins that you know would propel it mightily through the water, as well as extremely strong legs that it uses to launch itself into glides. Its feathers are sleek but almost look armored. Its feet look as if they are razor sharp, and its blazing red eyes and hawk-like razor sharp beak are like fierce and intimidating. It is a strong penguin. Anyways, your penguin buddy Unity is just standing stock still inside the portcullis. Burning eyes looking all around, surveying the landscape.
Well, I guess it's time that we climb and go finish this Watcher once and for all.
Lead the way, Doc.
All right, we start heading up.
Before you can see this penguin is really graceful in a lot of areas, but one where it is not is upstairs.
I was just thinking that.
Okay, I form a little like hover pad for it to walk onto that will follow me.
Oh my gosh.
So the penguin goes over and tries to, it like kind of has to hop like one leg at a time as it bobbles its way up, you know, and it like, you're like, all right, time to go get things started, and the penguin walks first, like it wants to be in front of you, you know, it's like a very good dog, as it starts bobbling its way up, and then you go, okay, I need to like summon a little hover cart for my penguin, so roll plus weird to see if you can summon a little hover cart.
Oh man, I'm wasting my good rolls. It's an 11.
All right.
It's the best dang hover card anybody's ever seen.
Just like Magneto in Magneto, you summon like a little metal disc, and Unity shuffles onto it and looks back at you with one grateful eye, burning red with a passion that you can barely comprehend, as it whooshes up the spiral staircase.
I'm waiting for like us to get to the top and the Watcher to turn around. Like I've been expecting, and just sees a penguin floating up towards him. Like, what?
I haven't been expecting you.
Oh, I'm so ready for Chaos to meet the penguin and just be like, what the hell is that?
We've out chaosed chaos.
Is that the spirit of all the innocent penguins I killed, making my lava refinery?
Seeking revenge.
All right. You begin to climb a spiral staircase, and something that is similar in this building that you noticed in the fount of... Did I call it the fount of unity? No, the fount of duality. It feels very artificial and unlived in. So it's a beautiful structure that you're climbing through. It's very intricate and ornate. It looks built with very specific visual intent, but it does not look extremely functional. Like, there aren't benches around. It kind of looks like how Disney parks are starting to look, where it's clearly meant to be walked through, not lived in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're walking through, as there aren't really big, nice rooms where you could tell that people lived, or areas for people to eat. There is none of that. It seems like you are walking through an art display as you climb higher and higher and higher through the spiral staircase, accompanied by Unity depicting. When you finally reach the top, it's kind of an anticlimax in a way. You're expecting probably to see some imposing creature or something that would match what you have expected the Watchers to be, but instead you are met with a very ordinary-looking person just standing on the top of this tower. The top of the tower itself is just kind of a... oh gosh, what's it called when there's these things?
Rampart?
Is it ramparts?
Like the edge of a castle wall.
Ramparts are just like walls. I don't know what the top is called.
It's the top part that looks like teeth, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, rampart, a defensive wall of a castle or walled city, having a broad top with a walkway.
Not exactly. There's like a word for it. It doesn't matter. You get what I'm talking about. It's the top of the tower that looks like teeth. That's exactly the right way to describe it. There is a word for that. I'm sorry. Lost the vocab word. The eye steps would be disappointed in me. There's nothing else on the top of the tower. It's just flat. The stone it's made from is shiny and black. And standing in the middle of it, there is a nondescript person. They are wearing just, like, I don't want to say like a suit, because I doubt that people wear, like, business suits. But, you know, like, formal dress. What I would actually say it would be whatever would be formal dress for the not the United Colonies.
Interstellar Council.
Yeah. The Interstellar Council, so whatever, like, their formal dress would be, like, whatever the people would wear to the Interstellar Council.
Would it be like keeper formal dress, or
it would not specifically be keeper? It would be
like politician attire.
Parapet is the right word, I believe.
It is. I looked it up.
Pretty sure parapet's the right word. That's what I was looking for, and that sure does sound a lot like rampart. So it would be whatever would be formal dress within the larger Interstellar Council, not specifically for the keepers.
Probably like flowing clothing.
Okay, so, yes, that is what they're wearing. Flowing, roby clothes. They're just standing, staring up at the sky.
Well, Mr. Watcher, sir, we've come to kill you.
The Watcher turns towards you. So you were looking at the back of them, right? Their face is non-existent, so it's just like a wiped, smooth, like almost as if it is itself also made of like a pale stone. They turn towards you, and instead of speaking with like a voice from a mouth, as they don't have one, there is a flash, again, almost like a lightning strike, and you can see hovering very close to you one of those eyeballs that you saw before, again, tethered back to this not unlike Slenderman-esque character I realize that I am describing, and a voice answers, not from the figure, but almost kind of from all around you. I'm not surprised by this. I have, after all, watched you come. I do see that you've stolen my pet. I look forward to stealing them back.
You're not surprised by, like what form he's in? Does he do this often?
Change forms, yes. I'm unimpressed by Giant Penguin, but...
Don't listen to him, Unity. You're great.
Don't name pets. They're... expendable.
Wait, he's saying you don't name pets? That's literally like one of the first things you do when you get a pet, is what do I name this thing that's now living in my house?
Not when you're like a demon, you don't. But as I have said, I have been Watching? For some time. Your friends on the other side are making quite the effort. That's impressive. And you can see again another flash, and there's another eyeball next to the one that I guess is talking to you. It splits open, so like the eye opens wide and then breaks, and inside of it you can see snips of almost like a movie playing, as this is what the Watcher is seeing on the other side in the real world. You can see Lucy being attacked by a Watcher that's tearing into it, and Lucy beginning to take grievous wounds. You can see Jyla trying to shoot at a valve to close it, and finally you can see...
Vika.
Oh gosh! Vika! Man, you can see Vika trying to shoot at a valve to close it, and then finally Malcolm closing this valve and a generator beginning to overpressurize, and finally you see your friends all surrounded by Watchers, basically standing on top of a bomb that they can no longer escape. Well, things don't look good on the other side. Things don't look good here either. I mean, congratulations for killing a penguin or whatever, but anyway, you said you were here to kill me, right?
1 second, I have a quick thing I need to talk with Jyla about.
Oh, don't let me interrupt you. Time is not on your side.
Jyla, quick question. If we do get out of this alive, you're not going to kill Mal for making a bigger bomb than you, are you?
No, why would I do that?
I mean, you just made your magnus opus, and he did a cartwheel kickflip.
There's a certain amount of finesse. We don't have to go into this right now. I'd be very supportive of all bomb making.
I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want him to feel like you were being shown up. You're important to me.
Now, we were talking about bomb making. Did you want to get in on that action?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, you. Without the face.
Oh, well, I kind of did. I mean, you understand, right, that I'm not a factory, so blowing up the factory is a very temporary inconvenience for my goal of having eyes everywhere. So, by all means, kill yourselves blowing up just one more thing that lets me create more eyes.
Well, if it's so unimportant, why are all your forces there? Shouldn't they be tangoing with us?
As the lightning flashes, you see again, like, thousands of tendrils reaching out into the, like, far-off galaxy. And a lot of them are nearby, but certainly not all. Oh, they're not all here. Just some. Think just enough to handle all of you.
Isn't it cute how these agents of chaos think they can take on us and the full power of harmony every time? And I attack him.
Okay. I guess, what do you do?
I want to form as many swords as I can at the tendrils and try to hack off as many eyes as I can.
Ooh, I like that. That's creative. Cool. Roll me some weird.
That's looking good. That's looking very good. That's a 12.
Daggum. You start, severing eyes as quickly as you can from, like, you know, the swords everywhere. And this is where you get to make a choice of, like, damage or avoid damage or do something else. Like, you basically get, you're going to do damage, now do you want to do something on top of that?
I think I want to do extra damage. I don't think I can make a case for this as, like, avoiding damage. I think this is kind of like an opening salvo where it's like, watch me.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm going to roll up the penguin as well. Wow, so penguin does real good.
Hey, great, he does.
So you conjure up swords and begin hacking eyeballs that are becoming visible with, like, flashes and cracks of what is becoming more and more like a storm forming above you as this fight begins. The Watcher, you know, like the main Watcher, you can see that this enrages him more than a direct attack on his own form, because these, like, connections and visions that they have are what they hold most dear. You can feel rage emanating from them as eyes are severed, and almost just in body language, like the malice that's about to come crashing towards you. And then Unity just releases an ear-splitting cawing sound, leaps forward onto his tummy, and just slams forward into the Watcher, razor beak tearing into stony flesh. All right, Jyla, what do you do?
Oh, it feels just like Avengers 1, where it's like yelling at the Hulk, and then just getting slam and jammed.
I am going to summon Cognitive Realm Ellie, my power armor arm.
Oh, that's cool.
From way back when. And she's going to try to punch it. They're close to us, but going back.
Yeah, the eyes.
Away from us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. She's going to try to punch one with the intent of pool, billiard balling, a line of them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
So this is what I want you to
8.
do. Well, no, hang on. Roll plus weird, and then roll plus tough if the roll plus weird roll is good enough.
Okay, I got an 8 for the roll plus weird.
Great. You've managed to summon an arm that now you can roll plus tough to use.
Okay.
Because I don't hate you.
Thanks. Hey, that's a 10.
There you go. All right, is this another instance of extra damage, or trying to avoid damage, or trying to do something else?
Extra damage.
Okay, so I'm basically going with all of you chose to do extra damage, right? So eyes begin being severed, others are bouncing around like billiard balls tethered to strings, and meanwhile the Watcher themselves was just rocked by a giant penguin.
The penguin caws, I'm not impressed by your form.
The Watcher doesn't hardly move, almost stands like a stone statue. But there's one more crash of thunder and lightning as the storm above you swirls into a proper gale. It begins to rain, and you can see eyes from all over rocketing towards you. As you would not know this, but in the real world, Watchers fall limp and lack as their tendril to this Watcher fall away, as all the eyes begin to retreat back towards its master to try to protect it. And all at once, there are these giant eyes crashing into you. The penguin is thrown back against the parapet. With a painful squawk, you can see scratches and tears along its feathered body. Jyla is similarly thrown backwards, and Sully is wrapped in a tendril and begins to feel choked. What do all of you do?
Harder, Daddy.
Zach wins. Congratulations. The Watcher blushes and becomes your waifu. Congratulations.
I figured out how to cheese the boss, everybody. I wish I would have waited 2 more seconds because he would have spit out his drink.
I thought he was going to.
I know what I want to do if you're thinking, Caitlin.
Yeah, go for it.
Can I turn all of the swords into syringes and then pluck them into the central ball that is the hive mind?
No, because that's gross. What? No, I don't like needles. What's the matter with you? Trigger warning, needles. Zach is disgusting and I hate him. I hate what you just said, and yeah, you can do it. roll plus weird.
My goal is to I'm injecting him with harmony.
I get it. Yeah, I like it. Ooh, actually, okay. Roll plus weird. Now you said something different there that I like. Go ahead. Roll plus weird.
All right, I'm going to use the camaraderie and make it a 10.
Seems like the time.
So with a 10, you think to yourself okay, similarly to how I rescued a penguin, or saved Salvador, or saved Lucy, I can try to start infusing the Watcher with harmony. But that doesn't exactly happen the way you think. There is this one actual personification in the cognitive realm that is the Watcher, and you don't feel any harmony flowing into that. This is like a creature of pure malice, not able to be saved. It wasn't something tainted by chaos, it was something fully made by chaos. But the Watchers, as they are called in the real world, are not that way. what you feel is not necessarily uncomfortable, but is a new sensation, which is having multiple eyes on multiple ships. You start to become aware of like 4 or 5 like new bodies on board ships. As you look around with these new eyes, you can kind of clearly see and perceive, almost like you were there yourself, but it doesn't like rattle your brain too much, the inside of ships that are like almost, well, they would be familiar to you, right? Because they're Interstellar Council ships.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see people running around and maybe walking up to you confusedly as these robots collapsed moments ago and now are beginning to glow gold. It's not all of them, but it's some of them. What is everyone else doing? I guess by everyone else, I mean Jyla. The penguin's just going to get up and attack again.
Right.
The penguin's basically got one thing that it does.
Does it look like Sully's in trouble because he's like wrapped up in something, or is that?
Yes, and that's only going to get worse. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think she's going to summon the particle magnetism weapon that she had, and like think of all her training with Sully, and try to slash at the things that are holding him.
Gotcha. We can call that another tough roll for right now, since you did that weird roll to make constructs of weapons.
Okay. That is a 9.
Okay, so you hack at this tendril, and it begins to come loose, but you do not impose yourself as the main threat to this Watcher standing here. The Watcher is not thrilled by the notion of Sully taking away perspectives from them. They do not like this. You can hear like a brittle snapping, popping sound as the Watcher paces towards you, as if marble is cracking with every step. And then, Sully, you feel a hard, cold hand wrap around your throat and begin to constrict. You, feel breath that you know you don't need to take, but that's difficult to convince yourself of at the moment, catch in your throat as your windpipe closes, and you just hear a voice say, "Give them back."
One question. Did you see that coming? And I stab him.
All right.
Yes.
That'll be an 11.
Okay. You know, I should really be, doing damage to you, by the way, Sully. So sorry I forgot to do, a bunch of damage to you.
No, that's
Anyways, you took a couple hits here, so I'm just going to wrap those up, and so did John. You know, I get in the moment of, just playing the game, and I forget to, keep track of anything, because it's,
It's a lot going on.
It's Outlaws, and that doesn't matter so much as, what's actually going on in the scene. But there does have to be, a defined endpoint, not just randomly when I feel like it. The combat can't just be over.
I mean, it could. It's called narrative.
Yeah, but, it kind of defeats the purpose of the game, part of the game. So you said you want to try to stab him. What'd you roll?
An 11. I don't try to stab him. I do stab him.
Gosh, this penguin is rolling like a champion. I'm not even adding anything.
Unity is the best.
You swing forward and stab, and right as you feel your sword sink into, basically you feel like chipping away and then splitting stone, like it's a popping feeling, right? You see a beak poke through the other way through this thing as Unity has crashed into him from the back, because Unity is a one-trick pony, and that one trick is murder. And you named him Unity, but whatever.
If everything's dead, it's all technically united.
United in death.
The stone begins to crack, and you can see, fissures forming, away from where your blade sunk in. The tendril, the hand around your neck doesn't really loosen. It's kind of at this point now a commitment, and it also seems like this Watcher does not particularly enjoy moving. But you can, yes.
This is just a quick reminder that I had forgotten that Cody pronounces fissures weird. Remember this came up in a previous thing. This came up in Crystal Heart, I think.
Oh, did it? Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
It did.
And then you said it, I was like, wait, this is familiar.
I totally forgot.
Because you say fissures, like the city.
I do, yeah.
Sorry.
So anyways, the splits appear in this thing. Cracks and breaks that lead to deep places. And black light begins pouring out, as well as some, slime begins to ooze from the Watcher, but its grip does not loosen.
Can I try to like stanch that flow of goo, I guess?
It's like his blood.
Oh, okay.
It's not like infecting things.
Okay. Never mind.
Oh, yeah, sorry. This seems like indication of damage on your enemy, and maybe not someone that you should be trying to, like, do CPR on right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was misunderstanding, like, what it was doing. Yeah.
I just like the idea of you, like, bandaging up the Watcher and then hitting it with a club.
Anesthetic. What?
Kill you, raise you up so I can kill you again. Yeah, I think I'm gonna slash at the things holding Sully still.
Cool. Well, at this point now, that's just a stone arm.
Okay.
I mean, she can cut off a stone arm.
Yeah.
You can try to cut off a stone.
I got a 6.
Are we using
so
tough?
Don't.
That is really bad.
It is really bad.
As you swing down towards this stone arm, your blade hits and then snaps. The particle magnetism, like, poofing into dust as you are left with nothing but a hilt in your hand, and you are left weaponless. Sully, what do you do?
Should I try to free myself or convert more eyeballs or stab the guy again? So many decisions.
There's a few. Oh, you also took more damage from being choked, by the way. Gotta keep the choke counter going.
I think you should get unchoked.
Yeah, I think I'll get unchoked. I just gotta figure out how I want to do it. Alright, so I think I'm just gonna like try to like basically form like the idea of like a laser wall, you know, that basically just like shear off his arm.
Yeah, I've seen Resident Evil. I'm into it.
Ooh, it is not looking good. That's a 7. I'll take it.
So, you feel the hand contract one more time on your throat, and you can almost taste blood as you can feel damage being done to you. You seem actually hurt now. Like, this wasn't like, oh, I'm unable to breathe. It's like, oh, this did something to me, like something broke. But you're able to raise this wall of energy enough to sever the arm. When the arm is cut cleanly off, what pours out is again just chaos that begins trying to manifest into something. So similarly to what you've seen before, when you're fighting with chaos-infected creatures, like they will take the shapes of like sea monsters or dragons or snakes or something. You can see this like tendril pouring out of this very precisely made stone thing. And instead of being like this clean container, it is rather chaos spilling out and trying to rapidly form into something that can be used as a weapon against you. Meanwhile, the penguin is still like pecking away as hard as it can, and we're going to see how that goes for it. Oh man, not terrible. Okay, so the penguin begins to try to open its mouth to widen this hole that it left in the Watcher, but the Watcher turns and with its now newly formed like kind of tendril arm, wraps it around the penguin and throws Unity back against the parapet. And again, you hear a like disconcerting crunching noise as you're not sure whether it's penguin bone or stone that is cracking. But again, damage is being done as Unity again hobbles and waddles up to its feet, staring with furious eyes on at the Watcher.
So Jyla is gonna like look at the hilt in her hand and just kind of like pocket it, which essentially is like poofing it out of existence because it's the cognitive realm. And she's like, well, back to an oldie but a goodie. And she's going to conjure up the power armor arm. And I think in thinking about like when's a time when she felt valiant, victorious, whatever, and she's gonna like conjure up that arm with a hay fork in it and just like stab the tendril, like try to like fork the tendril arm so that it's
Can I try to help her? Can I do a support roll? I have a way to do the support roll.
Yes, you can. What is the way to do the support roll?
I want to be doing the thing I did earlier where I counteract chaos trying to form. Like earlier when the Watcher was forming things, I want to basically just like nullify it. So it's just like, instead of like chaos coming out and forming tools, it's just like kind of like sludging goop, like can't do anything with it.
Yeah, I like that.
I got a 9.
I got a 9 as well. So you get +1. So you got a 10, Caitlin.
Ooh, thanks, boyfriend.
That's good, actually. There was kind of a way for this to go sideways, and it didn't. You guys rolled really well this Okay, so I just want to take a step back here real quick so you guys understand. Sometimes I feel like there's, like, in these combats, it's like, well, there's basically no way to win. You just roll the dice until you win. Like, there was a way for all of you, including Unity, to lose, and freaking no one rolled a fail, like, basically the entire time. So that didn't happen, and I just want you to know, if you had done poorly, there was stuff that was going to happen that didn't. So good job.
Yay!
I feel like it's a fitting time for us to be doing good, because we had, like, the last arc where we, like, lost to the dragon, like, 3 times.
Yeah, that's true.
And now we're doing, like, no, we're done messing around. And, like, we're done messing around, and then we just beat the crap out of the Watcher. Like, I've been waiting. Oh, please stop hitting my face!
Alright, so, Jyla, you wind up with... Oh, wait, roll plus tough. Did you roll plus weird or plus tough? Did you just roll plus tough?
Yeah, plus tough.
Okay, that's fine. So, you wind up with this hay fork and swing it down again into the Watcher. This time hitting its smooth stone face that you see shatter and crack and fall apart. The immediate effect is kind of like a balloon that pops in slow motion. So the stone shatters away, leaving behind like this trying to still form chaotic thing, right? It holds the shape of a person for a moment, but then you can see it already beginning to melt away as this thing that contained it was shattered and broken away. The eyes that had been flashing into existence and attacking you and being held off by both swords and needles from Sully, you can see them like flickering as they don't necessarily disappear, but the tendrils are like breaking and snapping away as this main thing that they were all returning to is beginning to dissolve in front of you. It does not completely disintegrate entirely. Instead, it kind of shrinks back into a like barely formed, almost slug-like human as it begins to crawl away from you, making its way towards the edge of the edge of the tower. Is there anything you want to do?
Want to squish it?
Yeah, if Jyla's taking care of that, I want to go to the hive. What was the the eye hive mind, like the center for the tendrils?
Oh, that's what the center for the tendrils is gone. Like that was this little slug.
Okay. Well, what happened to the eyes that I had?
Oh, you still have those. Yeah. You can just see onto like 4 or 5 ships. We'll say 5. You can see onto 5 ships and could literally basically walk and talk as a robot on those ships. Which I guess that's maybe something for us to explore next time, but you literally have robots on those ships.
Yeah, I didn't know if there's a way I could get more.
You could try, but there's, like, the connections to those Watchers are quickly falling away, so you would need to kind of, like, act quickly.
That's what I'm going to jump on that if Jyla's following the slug to, like, get rid of him.
All right, so Jyla roll plus tough, Sully roll plus weird.
I got an 11.
All right.
Got a 4.
No! What about the penguin? Yeah. Unity wants blood.
Oh, how do I want to play this one?
Nicely? I thought you had it, Jyla.
I know. I knew our luck was about to run out.
What do you mean our luck? I rolled an 11.
Does it just, like, slither off the edge before I can get to it? And I don't know what happens?
No. So, this creature, you start trying to stomp at it, and every time your foot lands, it just kind of squishes into this, and it compresses all the way down to the stone of this tower. But then your foot, it just slides out from under your foot until it throws itself off of the tower and down into the void beyond. That is the last you see of the Watcher. Meanwhile, Sully, you begin throwing your syringes up into the like nearest eyes to try to make connections to them. This is mostly successful as you gain 2 more Watchers that you can now see, like, so 2 more perspectives onto 2 more ships somewhere in the galaxy that you now have perspective and control over a giant robot on. Meanwhile, in the blink of an eye, Malcolm and Vika, the Watchers in front of you go rigid very quickly after they surround you. You don't see them immediately fall, they just kind of like stand there shaking for a moment, and then all of a sudden all the chaotic flesh that had grown into them evaporates, and they fall into useless pieces right in front of your faces. But, more pressingly, you hear a popping sound, and then there is a lot of heat coming from behind you, as you can hear metal beginning to rip and tear apart, and the sounds of, like, collapsing structures from inside of this oven that you have just wrecked, and you guys need to get out. So y'all need to act under pressure.
13.
7.
Ooh. Okay. Ivana's men take off running. There's only 2 of them left. They know things aren't going well. They know they need to get to, like, the entry turret bay that they entered this place in, and they remember that is, so they're just sprinting across entryways as fast as they can. Meanwhile, Malcolm, this is like, you know, you're nimbly running just as you were when you were able to, you know, get your way, get to that valve, right? It's like, okay, I can cartwheel my way out of here, no problem. You're keeping up with Ivana's men, great. Vika, you're kind of coming up the rear, and it's like, okay, you're doing fine, like, whatever, it's okay, like, you think you'll be able to make it out, and then you turn around and realize that Lucy is not keeping up at all. Like, a very heavy suit of damaged power armor is trying to scurry its way across collapsing catwalks.
I go back to get Lucy.
Do I notice this?
Okay, yeah, so, Mal, you'd be aware of this, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going back to help get Lucy as well.
Okay, so basically this is going to be an assisted role. So you guys are trying to, like, build camaraderie with Lucy, so how do you help Lucy escape?
One of you should just yell orders at him like he's back in the imposition.
What part of him is struggling? Is he struggling because...
His power armor's damaged, so it's like, usually it would respond, like, effortlessly to his motions, but instead it's, like, weighing him down now, so it's not, like, seamlessly integrated with it anymore just because of how badly damaged it was. Like, its power is not being delivered correctly to, like, leg actuators, and, like, maybe interfacing that's there is broken now as well.
Okay, I have an idea.
Okay.
I'm going to take the power cell out of my weapon, effectively making it where it can't shoot anymore. It would only be a melee weapon at this point.
Okay.
I'm basically voluntarily putting the jammed status on it.
Yeah, I like that.
And I want to use that battery pack to help augment his power suit to try to help him get the power where he needs it.
Okay, and Vika, what were you thinking?
Well, my original thought was, if it was, like, him struggling, like, he was having, like, struggling to, like, breathe and, like, move, I was gonna take off the helmet that I have and use that as kind of like oxygen to help him move. I don't know if that's relevant, though, and if it's not, then I'm just getting behind him and, like, pushing him.
Okay. Roll me your, so, Vika, I almost think that's, like, tough, right? Because you're just trying to, like, brute strength Lucy forward, and Malcolm, I think that is sharp or smart.
That's a 7.
11.
Okay. So that gives Lucy gives you guys 2 camaraderie you're carrying forward, and Lucy can then spend 2 camaraderie to try to get out of here. So full disclosure here, this is like whatever happens. It's down to a dice roll, just so you guys know. So we're about to find out. Oh, okay. So
I don't like that look on his face.
No.
Vika, you kind of panic in this instance, and you're just like, all right, Lucy, gotta go. Lucy at this point is just like, both of you need to leave now. Just go, it's fine. Literally what I am designed for was to be on your ship and be blown up. We're all about to explode. Go!
Lucy, we're not leaving you behind.
Yes, I understand you are saying that, but instead be leaving. And you can see, like, Lucy is desperately trying to grab at Vika, and throw her forward off of his back, and is also trying to slap at Malcolm to keep him from, like, ripping the power cell out of his gun and sticking it into his suit. But fortunately, his power armor was actually damaged enough that he wasn't able to bat both of you off because it had basically fully seized up. So when you slammed the power cell in, it basically just kicked on his rocket boots and launched all of you forward. So you all just kind of get chucked across the catwalk back towards, like, the place that you had just, like, scurried down, you know, like that port that had popped up with a turret. And you just crash haphazardly into that as from behind you, the power source and material generation of this place just explodes, throwing metal and shrapnel everywhere. Where you landed, you're, like, on the far end of the factory, and you're getting, like, hit with small shards of metal as the three of you are laying there in a heap watching Ivana's men kind of, like, dodging a little bit more debris as they manage to run their way towards you. And Lucy's just laying there panting. I did not know I had rocket boots.
We hope you enjoyed this latest episode of Outlaws Wanted. Music for this show is from danosongs.com, audionautics.com, zapsplat.com, and in the public domain. If you like this show, you can check out more of our actual play podcasts at the Wandering Gamer Network's website or on Podbean. You can also interact with us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We also post Let's Play videos under our YouTube channel, the Wandering Gamer Network, and on Twitch we can be found at wandering_gamers. Now remember, it's not the outlaws that make trouble, it's trouble that makes the outlaws.